And now to a breaking story. Israeli troops have been deployed near the Lebanon border amid escalating conflict tied to the broader war with Iran, with explosions and thick smoke reported over southern Beirut as the military hits Hezbollah positions. Israel has sent reinforcements into southern Lebanon and intensified airstrikes on Hezbollah strongholds, prompting evacuation warnings for dozens of villages. Hezbollah has responded with rockets and drones toward northern Israel, declaring readiness for open war and signalling a sharp escalation in the region. Civilian casualties and displacement are mounting as the front lines widen. Joining us live, we have Professor Georgi Toleraya, who is a professor at the Russian Academy of Science. Professor Toleraya, thank you so much for joining us today on the show. Just in terms of Lebanese domestic politics, how will these strikes affect the domestic politics in Lebanon? Lebanon, of course, is a very ethnically and religiously diverse country. And of course, as well, we have efforts by the Lebanese army to demilitarize Hezbollah.
Well, I'm not much of an expert on Lebanese internal politics, but as far as I understand, it's a shock and sort of great discontent, of course, for Lebanon. And it's the result is the contradiction, increasing contradiction between the Hezbollah and the army, the internal forces, because they're fighting each other, in fact. And this is one of the aims of Israel, to make Lebanon somehow dispel Hezbollah, to let them to break their strongholds on the territory of Lebanon. So we see partly a sort of civil war in Lebanon, instigated by the Israeli attacks and new aggression from Israel into Lebanese territory.
Okay, and just on that story again, Professor Toleraya, Hezbollah was initially, the group initially formed out of a group of Palestinian refugees who were in southern Lebanon. Could these attacks by Hezbollah, by Israel, be a gift to Hezbollah and perhaps be a tool for recruitment of discontented Lebanese?
I don't think so. I think that Hezbollah has lost much of the support it enjoyed from Iran, because Iran is now severely limited in its resources to support its proxies. And now with the Lebanon forces also attacking, I don't think that the situation has become any better for Hezbollah.
Just on that note, as the support from Iran would be lacking, like you mentioned, as Iran defends its own domestic borders, where could Hezbollah look to now for reinforcements?
Well, it can look for other anti-American and anti-Western coalitions and actors in the Middle East, which are plenty, but they have very difficult relations between themselves, of course. But anyway, we will see new formations, a new coalition being developed, and a new configuration of forces emerging in the Middle East in the course of this war.
Okay. Professor Toleraya, please stay with us as we move to our next story. Iran has launched a series of retaliatory strikes